October 16th, 2003. Ridge Lane, New Hampshire. They arrived in a white van with no logo. The fall air was cold and thin, and Ridge Lane looked like the kind of place that had been forgotten on purpose. Trees lined the road in knotted silence, their branches clawing toward one another above, like the gnarled fingers of something dead. Yellow leaves twisted down in slow spirals, sticking to the windshield as the wipers smeared them away. And at the end of the cracked pavement sat the house. The house. 3 stories of rotting wood, crooked windows, and a collapsed porch sagging like a broken jaw. Even from the road, the crew could tell something was off. The shutters weren't just tilted. They looked peeled, like eyelids forced halfway open. One window on the 3rd floor was shattered, and behind it, just faintly, a curtain flapped despite the stillness of the air. "Place looks like it breathes," muttered Felix, the sound guy, as he stepped out and adjusted his boom mic pack. "That's not normal." "Relax," said Erica, the director, trying to sound more amused than she was. "Creepier, the better. The more unsettling this looks, the better the intro shot will be." Behind them, Cam the producer unloaded the gear with a kind of robotic calm, already chewing gum and eyeing the angles of the porch. "You sure this is legal?" "No one owns it anymore," Erica said, brushing her jacket sleeve across the lens of her handheld. "It's not even on Zillow." Felix frowned. "Zillow doesn't exist yet." "Then we're fine," she smirked. "Come on." The 4th member of the crew, Mark, stood back from the group. He was their local guide, hired through a sketchy referral Erica found at the college radio station. He looked like he hadn't slept in days, pale, unshaven, and blinking too slowly. "I'll take you in," Mark said, eyes fixed on the house like it might blink back. "But I'm not staying." They set up just before sunset. Cam walked through the structure with the handheld, catching B-roll. The light poured in orange and red through the cracked windows, scattering across dust motes that danced like ash. Erica narrated to the static camera. "Built in 1890, abandoned in 1992, this is the house where 10-year-old Danny Colburn vanished into thin air. No trace, not a shoe, not a scream, just gone." The floor creaked under their weight. Felix kept stopping to listen to things no one else could hear. A faint tap, tap, tap from somewhere behind the walls. A whisper in the ductwork. Mark pointed toward the upstairs landing. "That's where the sister said she heard him last. Room at the end of the hall." "You've been in here before?" Erica asked, raising an eyebrow. Mark nodded slowly. "Twice. First time when I was a kid. Second time last year. You don't want to know what I saw." Erica grinned. "Actually, we really do." Mark didn't laugh. He stared at the stairs like he expected them to move. Audio log, October 16th, 9:42 p.m. File name, Ridge Track 04 DAR. Wave-oi. Static, then breathing, then a voice. "Felix, okay, this is weird. I'm getting interference, but it's not from our gear." Erica, "Can you isolate it?" Felix, "Yeah. Hold on. There's something underneath. Like beneath the static." Pause. More static. Then faintly, laughter. A child's laughter. Erica, "What the hell was that?" Cam, "Was that you, Mark?" Mark, "I told you. It remembers." Click. The lights failed just after midnight. One moment, the battery-powered LEDs glowed orange against the walls. The next, total darkness. Even the red standby light on the camera winked out. It was like the shadows swallowed everything at once. Felix cursed and scrambled for a flashlight. This doesn't make sense. We had power. The silence felt heavier in the dark. Each breath sounded wrong, like it was echoing too far. Erica's boots scraped against the floor. "Get the camera back up," she said, but her voice was thinner now, less certain. "I'm done," Mark muttered. "You got your footage. I'm leaving." But when he opened the door to the hallway, it wasn't a hallway anymore. It was a staircase, going down, steep, narrow, and wet. None of them remembered there being a basement. Felix was the first to step onto the stairs. "We have to see this," he said, almost trance-like. "This wasn't here before." "Maybe it was boarded over," Cam offered weakly, not moving. "No," Erica said quietly. "This house doesn't have a basement." "Then where does it go?" Felix asked, more to himself than anyone. Mark turned to leave. "This is how it starts. Camera log, found footage, recovered, label on tape. Do not watch. Ridgeley's 10/16/03. The footage shakes as they descend the stairs. It's dim, but the IR mode kicks in halfway down. The walls are wet, not with water, something else. The texture is off, slick and pulsing faintly. There's a smell, thick and animal, like copper and dirt and old breath. In the video, Erica leads. Felix films. Cam coughs in the background. They reach the bottom. It's not a basement. It's a hallway. White walls, fluorescent lights like a hospital, but with no fixtures. Just an ambient, sourceless glow, long and empty. What the hell? This wasn't. Then something moves at the end of the hall. A small figure. A child. Unmoving. Then the lights blink off. For a second, total darkness. When they come back on, Cam is gone. Felix dropped the camera. The last thing it captured was the word help, scratched into the wall behind them. Not written in ink. Carved, fresh. Shards of drywall curled around the letters. The grooves were deep, like claw marks. Erica screamed his name. "Cam!" Nothing. She ran ahead. Felix followed, but every step felt wrong. Like gravity was bending sideways. Their bodies moved, but the walls stayed the same. The air felt thicker, like trying to breathe through syrup. The hallway didn't end. They ran for minutes. Doors passed on either side, each one closed. Then, without warning, they were back in the living room. No hallway, no Cam, just silence. And the crib. A crib that hadn't been there before, rocking slowly. They abandoned the house that night. No one slept. Erica vomited twice. Felix wouldn't talk. He stared at his recorder with both hands wrapped around it like it might whisper again. When they got back to the motel in Gorham, Erica went straight to her room and tried to digitize the tapes. The files corrupted as soon as they transferred. Except one. Track 09 Wavy. The one from the basement. She played it once. Then she locked it in a shoebox and mailed it to her father in Oregon, with no note. 3 weeks later, she stopped responding to calls. Felix checked himself into a psych ward in Connecticut. Mark disappeared. Present day, 2025. Jessica sat in the library archive, headphones on, the shoebox in her lap. She had no idea who sent it. No return address. No note. Just a scratched-up mini-DV tape and a label. Ridge Lane, 10/16/03. The librarian had to dig out an old player from the back closet. The first 20 minutes were static. The tracking skipped. Lines rolled up the screen. Then, Cam's face grinning into the lens. Rolling. October 16th, 2003. We're here at the Ridge Lane house where legend says a kid disappeared. No one's been in for years. Until now. Jessica leaned in. The sound cut. The picture warped. And then a still image appeared. Of Danny, standing in the hallway, unmoving. A single tear rolled down Bart and Jessica's cheek. Her hands trembled. Then the screen flickered, and the figure in the frame moved. But not like video. Like it had noticed her. It turned, slowly, and looked directly into the lens, and smiled. Back on Ridge Lane. A group of teens passed the house filming TikToks. They never went in. But later, when one of them rewatched the video, she paused on a frame. Behind them, in the window of the second floor, was a face. A child's face. Smiling.